So I've had my Mako 204 since last November. It's mid-April now. I've taken it out about 38 times since I've had it, quite a bit. And the more I've used it, the more I've noticed some of the subtleties in the performance. And recently I've been researching trim tabs because I've noticed there's been some, the boat's a little bit longer to get up on plane. There's a little bit of bobbing that happens at the bow. Just some subtleties that I want to improve, but I didn't want to go and get the real complicated mechanism with the electronics controls and all this, just because I don't want one more thing I gotta deal with when I'm on the boat. I go out a lot by myself, and just managing all my gear, my fishing gear, and just all the other things that come with the boat, I just don't really want to have something complicated. So after doing a bunch of research, I ended up settling for the Smart Tabs SX. These ones are rated for the boat that I have, for the size and the weight. It's supposed to be a pretty simple install, so I'm gonna basically install these and show you guys what it looks like and how it's done. So when you open the box, it comes with a little DVD that shows you how to install the trim tabs, and you can also just go on YouTube and look at their video. They have it on their YouTube page. And the other thing I thought was kind of funny, actually, is there's an audio button you can push here that has a directions or explanation of the product. Thought that was kind of interesting, and not sure how much of that cost gets transferred to the consumer, but it was something unique. I'm not going to push it because it's kind of annoying. But basically, you got the DVD, which I've already taken out. You got your two trim tabs. I don't think they're side specific, so either side works. You got the little, I don't know what you want to call this. It's basically a shock or a spring, fancy spring. A bag of hardware, some stainless screws, and some composite nylon bolts, and then the mounting bracket that mounts to the transom. And then it looks like some instructions with some photos on how to do the install, but they say it takes about 30 minutes and some basic tools. I got some tools laid out here already. I got the sockets for the pins, I got the marine sealant, I got a drill, pencil, tape, and then I already marked up started marking up the boat, but this is basically where it goes. It's 3 to 5 inches from the edge of your transom to the edge of the bracket, and then you just 6 screws that hold that hinge plate to the transom. So I'm going to go ahead and install that, and then go from there. There's 6 holes to drill for the hinge plate. These hinge plates don't have a direction. They can go either way, which just makes it easier to do. And I like to hit each one of these with a countersink tool, just so it takes the chipped part of the fiberglass away. So I'll just fill those holes with some silicone, put a little silicone on the back of this, and then screw that on there. And then the other thing I did is, they say go flush to this bottom edge or close. I gave myself about 1/8 of an inch, just to keep it from catching on anything, or and also so that I'm not drilling into the corner of the lamination between the transom and the hull. Don't know if it matters, but all these holes went right through, so I'm not just drilling through fiberglass on these bottom ones. I'm far enough up from the edge, so that's what I did on that. The trim tab mounted, basically it's just held in with these pins. So I screwed in the plate, put the sealant in there, screwed that plate on, and then there's just these nylon bolts that hold this on. I'm not sure how long those are going to last. I guess if it were metal, it's just going to rust. So I understand the use for this composite material. And then the top holes, you basically just line this up, and when this thing just sits in a relaxed position, you just line this up, match drill that bracket, and then screw that in. So put some sealant in there, screw that in, and then this side is pretty much done. I just have to tighten these screws down. And that side was done pretty easy, pretty basic, not super fancy, but everything I've read, people rave about these things. There's only a few people that didn't like them, but for the most part, these things have a lot of really good reviews. So anyway, I'll do the next side, and I'll show you when it's all complete. So the install is all complete. Took about 30 minutes. It's about accurate with what they said on their website. There's the other side. So that's both of them. So that's pretty simple. Looks like you can adjust how much tension they apply. So they recommend starting in the middle position, and I'll start there and I'll change it if I want more or less of the trim tab working. And you can see if you just grab it, I'd say that's about 35 pounds worth of force that I'm doing there in lifting it. So that's what it looks like installed. So whenever I do these installs, I try and pass on anything that I learned. So there's a couple things that I would probably pass along, and that's these nylon screws don't have any kind of locking feature, so I'm just going to throw some either Teflon tape or some silicone over that once I commit to this setting, just so it doesn't back out. And that goes for these screws as well at the hinge plate. And then the other thing that's a little confusing is how far outboard the trim tab should be mounted. It seems like, based on the video, that you want them as far outboard and as wide as possible on the boat. But I'm just using pure physics and just basic physics on this. Is if these are further outboard on the transom, they're going to be working more efficiently. They're not going to be having to work so hard. So I'm just going to go with that. I mean, I followed the directions. I went, 3 to 5 inches from the edge of the transom here, and then mounted the plate there. But that part, I had to watch the video multiple times to understand exactly where the hinge plate should mount. But just if you think about it with just physics, and then also anywhere inboard of this location, I really don't have any space because I've got this step in the way here, and then I wouldn't be able to strap the boat down if it were any closer. But if they were mounted to the center, it seems like they would be working too hard. So out here, just using kind of logic about physics, the further outboard they are, the less work they're going to have to do, and probably the more efficient they're going to be. So that's pretty much it on the install. So if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. So again, thanks for watching. Till next time. So I thought I'd add this on the end of the video. This is actually kind of amusing that they added this feature on the packaging. I'm not sure how much of that cost is passed on to us, but
Hi, I'm Dave. If you're looking to improve your boat's performance, ride, handling, and economy, you've just found the answer. Smart Tabs. You'll get 50% less bow ride, faster acceleration, more top speed, no porpoising, fully automatic, and easily installed in less than an hour. For more information, check out my Smart Tabs videos included in this package or online at nauticusinc.com.